they started off the program with recapping last week what happened between the Bloodline and AJ and LA Knight, and Orton came out to save the day, and the babyfaces, triumph there. But then Roman and Paul, they come in through a metal detector. They're making Heyman walk through a metal detector. What do they think? He stole the silverware out of catering? It wasn't the silverware. It was the 2 bowls of pasta. Anyway, so they walk through in the back of the arena, the metal detector, and there's Solo and Uso standing there. And I'm like it. As long as I don't have to watch either one of the Usos wrestle, I love them. Jimmy Uso's there. He's trying to shake Roman's hand and be all fucking Jimmy J.J. Walker, and he gets ignored. And so he's like, oh, okay. And Roman said, last week he said, I said fix it, and it didn't get fixed. So I'm here to make it right. And he walks off, and Solo gets his close-up where he says, I'll fix everything. So we've teased, okay, the big dog's in the house, blah, blah, blah. They're in Atlanta. It's sold out. When was the last time you remember, Brian, that spoken words sold out NBA arenas? Was it the heyday of Andrew Dice Clay?
Or Kareem Abdul-Jabbar?
Not with his speeches.
No,
I don't believe. So Nick Aldis is in the ring, and they're going to have the contract signing for the 4-way title match between the 3 aforementioned baby faces, although AJ is straddling, and Roman for the title at the Royal Rumble, because that's what Aldis told Paul that his boy had earned himself. So AJ enters, and he gets in, and he signs immediately, no verbiage at all. And LA Knight comes in and gets a bigger pop, and he signs immediately, no verbiage. And did you know that when these guys come out, they're dressed like they're somebody? It not necessarily, I'm not even saying it was great fashion, but you don't, they're dressed like they're somebody, whether some weirdo celebrity, an athlete, a star, movie, TV, they're somebody. Normal people don't dress like that. Instead of the fucking indie guys on the other channel that come out dressed like Ned, they just woke up in the Salvation Army drop box. They look like somebody. And then Orton comes out, and he's dressed to wrestle because he's going to wrestle later on, and he's wearing his own T-shirt. His own fucking, he's not wearing a T-shirt in tribute to his favorite Japanese wrestler. And Orton signs, and the fans are digging him just fantastic. And then Aldis introduces Roman, and Roman's music played, but wait, it's just Paul Heyman, the wise man. And he comes out in the entranceway, and it's the old manager story. Well, I haven't had a chance to submit the contract to my attorney or to even review it, so sadly, unfortunately, Roman Reigns will not be signing this contract tonight. Ooh. And Aldis said, oh, that's fine, Paul. No problem, I understand. And Paul turns around, he's going to leave, and Aldis says, I've already got these other 3 guys' signatures, so it can be a contract for the triple threat match for the vacant Universal World Global Heavyweight Championship of the planet. And Paul comes back to the ring with his mean face. And Brian, do you know when Paul got up on the apron of the ring and was walking straight over to Aldis, who was looking at him, and they had the view from the hard camera, do you know what it reminded me of when Paul walked up to Aldis?
Can you just leave him alone for 1 week?
It reminded me of the opening of Alfred Hitchcock's Presents, when Alfred Hitchcock's silhouette walks right into the fucking frame and goes right into his caricature, and he went nose to nose. Alfred Hitchcock's caricature, and Nick Aldis went nose to nose. It did look like, go back and watch. If you've saved this on your DVR, it was very effective. You could do a mashup. I'm not inviting any of the very talented video artisans to do this, but if you had the opening of Alfred Hitchcock Presents, the caricature there of Alfred and then the silhouette walking in, and you could juxtapose that with Heyman walking toward Aldis, well, you'd have a award-winning piece of video that I would probably retweet. Anyway, Paul tells Aldis that he cares deeply about him and the mediocre job that he's done as general manager, wearing his Paul Heyman wannabe custom suits, but there's no way that he's going to be able to sell that to the board of directors or the fans or anybody else, and Roman Reigns ought to be in a one-on-one match at the Rumble. And then LA Knight pipes in and tells Paul to shut up and gets a pop. It ought to be a one-on-one match against me because I knocked Roman Reigns' half-wit, cross-eyed cousins out of and said that he would come over there and cut bacon off of Paul's back. I mean, I'm saying finally we're hearing wrestling promos again. Just a little personal insult goes a long way. And these guys are not saying, oh, it's always been my dream to stand in the ring, and I want you at your best. They want to cripple each other. So anyway, LA asks why that AJ Styles and Randy Orton jumped his line when he almost had Roman Reigns a while back, but AJ bowed up and told LA that he was lucky to be in the match. And LA said, watch the bass of your voice, son. You need to worry about Roman Reigns. And then as they're arguing, Orton's just leaning back in the corner and listening. And LA Knight tells AJ off and starts to walk away, and AJ punches him. And they go down to the floor and they have a big fight. And Aldis calls security and the referees, and they pull them apart. And Heyman's on the apron laughing at these guys on the floor, and Orton walks up behind him and grabs his tie, and Paul does the slowly I turned. Oh, Paul is great at being physically intimidated. He's muttering under his breath, please don't hurt me. And his jowls are trembling in the wind. And Orton just tells Paul that, hey, I know what you're doing, and it ain't going to work. Because I'm going to drop Solo tonight, and then I'm going to reintroduce Roman Reigns to the RKO. And he pats him on his extra large face, and they play the music. It was 18 minutes. It was commercial free. It flew by. Everybody's not only a star, but everybody was great and said what they should say. And is a big-time presentation of an important issue for the biggest box office attraction in the business's world title match at the Royal Rumble. The problem is you can't goddamn do this for 2 hours, and they, but boy, what they do? They're selling shit. They're selling tickets. They're getting fans to ask questions. They're getting people interested in what's going to happen next. Just almost none of it has to do with these damn wrestling matches. What do you think, Brian?
I thought it was a great opening segment. I am a big fan of Nick Aldis so far. The way he handles these segments, the way he carries himself, he delivers his lines, his interaction with Heyman. I'm a big fan of it so far. Good opening segment. Randy Orton lied, though. He said the most dangerous 3 letters in sports entertainment are RKO. It's NDA.
I think he signed one of those. He's not allowed to mention it.
Oh, the NDA that you can't mention the NDA?
Yes, he signed an NDA to not be able to talk about his NDA.
You know, when we put up the video for Tony Khan talking about the Jericho thing, someone put a comment. It was so funny. It was the first thing that comes up. It's the most popular one there. It's like, why didn't Tony just sign himself to an NDA?
This is so secret, I'm not allowed to talk to myself about it. If I think about it, I can sue myself. And I don't want to be hauled into court by me. And then, and right after this, by the way, they go back in the back where Aldis is walking. And AJ comes in all pissed off and wants LA Knight tonight. And Aldis says, fine. So now we not only know the main event, Randy and Solo, but also we're going to see AJ and LA Knight. We've seen these guys, the emotions are running high. What's going to happen? So they've hooked us, and we know there's more of this shit to come in this program.